Now, you're going to take us through 5 reasons this morning why keeping up with the Joneses will make you a horrible homeowner. Let's start the list.
Well, first of all, we need to ascertain what does keeping up with the Joneses mean. And, it's a phrase that we've used forever, but essentially it is looking at the accumulated wealth, assets, gadgets that your neighbors and friends have, and somehow being doggedly determined to keep up with them. And as you know, it will add stress to your life because technology, everything is always evolving. So even if you
Oh,
get the latest iPhone or Samsung, there's something else coming 3 weeks later. So can you really ever keep up? So today we're
okay.
going to look at, yes, we're going to look at 5 reasons that you can't be a good homeowner if that is your plan in life. So the aim is after this, you're going to recess your value system and make some changes.
Okay, so number one.
All right. So number one, keeping up often means investing in depreciating assets. And so you find that to keep up, you're looking for stuff that's shiny and brilliant and makes you look good and perhaps look as if you're wealthy. So what do you go for? You go for a fancy car. And you don't just buy a second-hand car like like to do. I've never owned a new car in my life. You go for the brand new car that as soon as you drive off the lot, the value goes down. Sometimes as much as by 20%. As soon as you get the receipt for things, furniture, whatever, the value is already gone down. So that is number one, investing in depreciating assets.
Number two.
Um, Number two, what ends up happening is that your lifestyle turns into one of spending, spending, spending. So, guess what's going to happen? Lack of savings. You're going to have high debt and, of course, low investments. So, the instruments that are meant to sustain wealth over time, you're not focusing on those because you need the now. So, a high level of consumerism means less money put aside. And that's where a lot of people got caught. When COVID came along, there were no savings instruments there, not enough for emergencies, and you're more likely to go into credit card debt. You don't have any mutual funds put down. So imagine now when it comes time to wanting to buy a house, you just don't have enough at it.
Or your debt is so great that you don't qualify. So even though your
Correct.
salary will be able to cover the mortgage, the debt you have, the debt to savings to salary ratio is such that you're left with nothing.
That's it right there. Correct, correct, correct.
Okay. Now number
So number three, suppose you did somehow make it to owning a home. Perhaps you had a double income coming in, so you made it. But then what happens? Your spending lifestyle is continuing because you gotta look good. But the more money you spend, here's what happens. Home bills pile up, utility bills pile up. So you might have the cute little house, but every month you're like, oh gosh, not again. And you're hiding bills under the carpet. And a lot of people who get into this rat race find themselves, they just can't keep up. So you're almost living check to check. And guess what? Things like keeping the electricity on and keeping the water running, you put in last place. You don't put those things first. And whatever happens to be left over, you then throw at those bills. So they continue to pile and pile, making you a horrible homeowner.
So our third really is that we forget what our priorities are financially,
Yeah.
essentially. Shopping over sustaining.
Yes. I've
that's
seen it.
that's interesting because we need the light, we need the water, we need the gas to help sustain us. So that's pretty interesting. And number four.
Number four, you could end up with an over renovated house. And then when it's time to sell it, it is undervalued. Let me explain. You live in Hoodlum Heights and you decide, you know what? I saw on Pinterest this sauna. Let me try out this sauna thing in the backyard. So all of a sudden you have a sauna. Then you get a few coppers as a bonus at the end of the year in terms of throwing it to your mortgage, you're like, no, 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 no. Time to upgrade to some Calcutta marble in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, you happen to sell your car, and instead of reinvesting in something else that is an appreciating asset, you decide it's the perfect time for those $80,000 bedroom closets. So what happens? You might be the brightest, shiniest thing in the neighborhood, but when you are at the top of the ladder in the neighborhood, it's hard to get your house sold because the valuer is going to come in and he's not valuing your house any more than the neighborhood dictates. So the 100,000 that you injected in your house to look as if you had it going on means absolutely nothing when it comes time to seeing what your house is truly valued.
No, no, let's get this straight. I have decided to overspend a half a million on a home because
Ooh.
I want all of these additional amenities and luxury type items contained therein, whether it be my bedroom, my bathroom, or my kitchen. You're then saying to me that after I assume that I'm creating a system of appreciation on the value of my home, I'm actually still at ground zero because it's going to be assessed against what all the others in my neighborhood are?
Yes, yes, yes. So, for example, let's say we go into neighborhood XYZ in Wanston. If hypothetically the land out there is valued at, I'm just saying $23 a square foot, right? A valuer is going to come, he's going to make an assessment of the land. He's going to come and look primarily at the condition of the house and the house itself and make an assessment of the house. Okay, so yes, things like kitchens and bathrooms do add value, but if the houses in this neighborhood are dictating a cost value of, a value of, I'm just saying hypothetically again, $300 a square foot, because you put in that marble and those closets doesn't mean all of a sudden just for you, boo, we're jumping to $500 a square foot. No, no, because then what's going to happen when it comes to selling the rest of the houses in the neighborhood? Your house would have set the precedent of $500 per square foot for the house itself. No. So remember, when a valuer does an assessment, a lot of it is based on comparable properties and the square footage price in your neighborhood. So
Okay.
yes, you putting in all that stuff doesn't exempt you.
That's interesting to know. As you said, it's oversold but undervalued. Quite interesting. And
Mhm.
what's our number five?
Number five, how can you enjoy home ownership if you are forever exhausted? Keeping up with the Joneses is like chasing waterfalls. You never, ever, ever, ever arrive, number one. And number two, you're living somebody else's dream and vision. You don't even know what your vision truly is for you because you've never sat down with yourself and said, what do I really want for me to advance? You're always looking at, here I am looking at Wendy, here I am looking at Pearson, I am looking at John, and trying to keep up with all these people, and I don't have my own system in place aligned with my own purpose.